Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Gene Curl, and this is an episode, this is a series I'm doing where I read my mission journal that I kept while I was a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I believe this is episode 46. If you want to get my whole mission experience, start with episode 1. Without that said, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Sunday the 15th of August 2004. Mostly clear, hot, light wind. We had breakfast and correlation at Brother K's house this morning. Later at PEC, after Brother J and the young men's president gave his report, I mentioned to him that he might want to check on who is passing sacrament because one of the boys that passed last week does not have the priesthood, and another does not know if he does or it does not. And while I was talking, Brother K got mad and told me that I should not be in Brother J's face because he is new and does not know what is going on. I replied that I was not saying anything against Brother J, but I just wanted to make sure that they did not pass again. Again, Brother K interrupted and said, Curl, we'll talk about this later. After PEC was over, Brother K wanted to talk to us. We argued for a while, and when Elder G stood up for me, the argument shifted to him, and Brother K said, Elder G, I'm losing my trust in you two, as if he had already lost his trust in me. It turned out that the only reason that he was upset because we did not go through him. He told us that he should be our only line to the Lord. So in other words, it does not matter who we need to talk to. He wants us to go through him. He was also upset because when the kids were baptized, he was the bishop and they did not get properly recorded and only one got the priesthood. He told us that if I had said anything like that in any other ward, that they would have got rid of me right away, which is absolutely not true. I have mentioned a lot of things in a lot of wards, and the ward leaders have been nothing but grateful. Brother K told me that I offended all of the ward leaders. I did not believe it, but I thought that just in case I should apologize to Brother J, which I did right after sacrament meeting. And when I did, he told me it was all cool. And right away he checked and found out that I was right and that he was glad that I said something. After we finished talking with Brother K, the ward mission leader, everything was kind of smoothed out. We apologized and so did Brother K. Then he hugged us and told us he loves us and said that he thinks we are doing a good job. I had to teach the Aaronic priesthood about scripture study and committed them to study every day for the whole week. We had a lot of people in Gospel Principles class today. Eileen V came and as did Kat and her boyfriend Jared, and a few members. All through church, Sister T did a great job of fellowshipping Eileen V. I had to give the missionary meeting moment in sacrament meeting. The sacrament speaker was kind of boring, but they gave pretty good talks. The worst part is that they talked in monotone voices. In the over 20 months that I have been on my mission, this is the very first time that I have had any real trouble with any ward members or leaders. I have had a lot of firsts while in this area. The first area longer than 4.5 months. The first time ever being called on in zone conference. The first time having a companionship who is not from the American continent. The first time having more than 2 companions. I am sure that there are a lot of other firsts, but the only other one that I can think of is the first time playing tennis. When we were about to leave the church, the R family asked us if I could back their car out because someone parked there so close that Brother R could not get in. I did it for them, but told them that if anyone asked, they didn't see anything and I ain't done anything. Also, the first time that I have back there drove a member's car. We taught Kat's boyfriend, Jared, at the K family's house, and after we taught him the first discussion, we were asked to stay for lunch, so we did. We had personal study of the pad, but I did not get very much out of it because after only one chapter of Alma, I fell asleep and did not wake up until it was time to go. Elder G fell asleep before I did and woke up after I did. I think that after the mission, I'll sleep after every church every Sunday. We tried to see a lot of people, visited one inactive family, and then had dinner with the K family. We had a good time talking to them and perhaps stayed too long. I shared the dinner message before we left. Most of the rest of the night we spent talking to some psychotic drunk guy who only wanted to talk about killing his girlfriend. I have talked to him before when he was sober, and he used to have a lot going for him. He graduated with honors from college, had his own business, a family, a nice house, etc., but lost it all when he got into drugs. I really don't know how people can go so far off the path. It is sad to see that Satan has such a great hold upon the world. Monday, the 16th of August, 2004. Clear, hot, light wind. After we did our laundry, we played a couple of games of chess, and then we went shopping to get my film developed at Long's. 1 hour photo. It took almost 4 hours. While we waited, we dropped by the office to see if they had any mail. I had a couple of letters from my grandma. She sent me $20 and a book of stamps. While we were at the office, Sister Ale asked me what I wanted to do after my mission, so I told her that I will go to Oklahoma to work and study and then like to come back to Idaho for school, but it all depends on what happens. If I find a really good job or find someone special, I'll stay there a lot longer. About an hour before my film was through, we stopped back by Long's and happened to run into another elder who agreed to take Elder S to Dunkin' Donuts so that he could use the email. After we dropped Elder S off at his house, we went back to our pad and played cards and chess. We visited a few less active people and then had dinner with the T family. They fixed Hawaiian food, poi, lau lau, rice, etc. After dinner, I shared the message for Family Home Evening on Naaman and the leper, and then challenged everyone to read at least one chapter per day. The T family is one of my favorite families in the sport. We met Elder G and Elder H at our pad around 20:30 and switched for team-ups. Elder G stayed with me in my area, and my companion Elder G went with Elder H. The bishop called and asked if we could do service tomorrow at 1 p.m. Tuesday, the 17th of August, 2004. Clear part of the day, rained today, and there was heavy rain for about 20 or 30 minutes. Light wind, hot and humid. Elder G, the district leader, and I went to street contacting this morning, but did not teach anyone. On our way back, we stopped by Jessica, and after we talked to her for a while, we set up an appointment to teach her the second or third discussion. When we got back to the pad for lunch, we got a call from the man whom we were supposed to help, asking us to come earlier. We helped Alex and Bea H. move into the ward. Since they are a young couple who just finished college, they did not have all that much stuff to move. I'm excited to have a new active family in the ward. After we finished helping them move, we had a quick lunch at the pad and then cleaned up. We visited Adam, the one who left the Book of Mormon on his porch and asked about dinosaurs, and he told us to come back again in a couple of weeks. Not too solid if you ask me. I called Debbie B, and she told me that she can't meet with us anymore because her husband is getting pretty mean and does not know what he would do to her if she talked to us. I think that someone should put all the guys like her husband out of their misery. There is no excuse for a man to be unkind to a woman or child. After it quit raining, we tracked it until it was time to meet Joseph, but was not able to teach anyone. When we went to teach Joseph, he was not home, so after waiting for him a while, we went trying to catch a few inactive people, but again, no luck. We got distracted for a little while, watching a rat in the canal eat a small fish. Sister A dropped off money for dinner, so we ate at Subway. After dinner, Elder G wanted to have a quick PPI at the pad, and then we met the other elders at the other pad and switched back. Wednesday, the 18th of August, 2004. Mostly clear, hot, light wind. I try not to, but I am getting a little burned out in this area. I have been trying everything that I can think of, and yet it has been slow, and does not help that ever since Elder S left, I have pretty much been supplying all the ideas. Most of the time, Elder G does not even try to think of anything effective to do, just asks me what we are going to do next. There is not near as much ward support as there should be. The area is small, and I have pretty much tracked it all. And same people probably gets tired of seeing me. Oh well, I kind of hope that I don't spend the rest of my mission here, but if I do, I will do my best here and try to love it because it would be where the Lord wants me. I would like to end my mission in the same area that it started at Waianae, but the chances of going back there again are slim to say the least. After week plan, we had lunch at the pad and then went to see Randy. But he was not there. We later got a hold of him on the phone and he rescheduled for tomorrow. Since Randy was not there, we decided to walk to see a few people and try to street contact him. Not too much visible success. We drove only for a short time today and walked all the rest. Partly because the power was off and the traffic was horrible at the intersection since the lights did not work. We tracked and street contacted a lot today, again with no visible success. When we walked up to the house, our landlady's mother told us that she made us dinner, so we stayed and ate. We walked to Hawaiian homestead land and visited with Kat and her boyfriend Jared. Then we talked to Maila Kay about her mission and ended the night with a few follow-up visits on the way home. I loved walking today except for the sore feet. If we had drove today, we would have went a lot slower because instead of trying to talk to people on the street in between appointments, we would have had to think of more things to do. And I'm really getting tired of trying to see the same people. The thing about street contacting in Waialima is that there is not too many people on the street, and most of the ones that we see have already tried to teach before, but it keeps us busy. It's probably better to walk down the road trying to talk to the same people than just sitting and trying to think of something effective to do. This way we are thinking about what to do while we are trying to do something. After all, it has been said that the revelation comes most often when you're on the move. I called Tasha at her work number today. She was referred by Elder H, and she thought that I was a Jehovah's Witness and had her boss to ask me not to call anymore. Thursday, the 19th of August, 2004. Light rain before daybreak just until about 7 a.m. The rest of the day was clear and hot, light wind. I washed the truck this morning during the rain. After devotional, we went to the tabernacle for interviews with President Hawkins. When I talked to the president, he told me that he really likes my goals. He told me that one of the things that he likes about me is that whenever anything is brought to my attention that I need improvement on, I don't get offended but rather strive to improve in that area. He also told me that he likes the way I think. He thinks that I am very creative, which he says is a gift. The president said that I have a lot of potential and that I can do a lot bigger and better things than doing sighting, and that he does not want me to go back to doing sighting. When he asked what I will do after my mission, I told him that I have decided to go to Oklahoma and stay at least until fall and then go to school. I said that I don't have any definite time planned to stay in Oklahoma, and how long I stay depends on two things. Number one, who I meet, and number two, what kind of opportunities I have open to me. I also mentioned that I want to get a job doing something that I have not done before, as it will give me added experience. President Hawkins thinks that going to Oklahoma is an excellent idea and does not want me to go back. Doesn't want me to back out of it. He also mentioned that he really wants me to get my GED as soon as possible, which I assured him that I would. When we got back to the pad, we had personal study and ate lunch. From the time we got home, we did not start the truck again. We just walked all the rest of the day. We visited everyone we could think of and talked to people on the street in between. We were going to teach Randy the second discussion about Christ and baptism, but the only thing we talked about out of that one was baptism, and then because of his questions, we taught him the third discussion about the apostasy and the restoration. He declined being baptized, but said he would try to adjust his work schedule so that he can come to church. We did not teach anyone else the rest of the day. We had dinner with the K family and then tried to get a team up for Saturday, and we got a couple of families to agree to let us come teach them. President Hawkins thinks that we should teach the active members to get referrals. One family we tried to see was not home, but their friend that was visiting from another ward to babysit told us about how her and her husband helped someone join the church. I told her to share the story with other members so that it would get them excited to help out with the missionary work. Friday the 20th of August 2004. Clear, hot, light wind. District meeting was pretty good today. Elder Pete trained on the second chapter of the missionary guide, the new one President gave them a copy to use in district meeting. When the two districts met back together, they had me tell the other district what we learned, and I had lots of fun with the microphone until it was taken from me so that Elder S could report what his district learned. Elder S and Elder F wanted to go to lunch, so we took them to McDonald's with us. After lunch, we dropped them off where they wanted to go and came back to our area. I received a letter from my mother today. We did a lot of follow-up visits and some tracting, but did not teach any non-members today. Sister P fixed us dinner, but since she lives by herself, we just had to pick it up and eat it out of our pad. After dinner, we set up an appointment with the L family to teach them member discussion, and then went and taught the T family a member discussion, which took longer than we thought, so it was our last visit. Saturday, the 21st of August, 2004. Light rain half the day, clear part of the day, hot light wind. We spent all morning tracking the rich area, Pacific Heights. While tracking, I just might have met the most mixed up person that I have met in my whole mission. This one lady that we tracked it into started off by saying that she was atheist, but then changed it to agnostic. We had a good little talk with her. She thinks that the Bible is false, Jesus is just a prophet, and that there are many gods. When she told us that believing in God is juvenile, I told her that Christ said, unless you become as a little child, you can in no wise inherit the kingdom of God. She then expressed her feelings about it and said, who wants to inherit the kingdom of God? She believes that gods are women, and there is no heaven or hell, and when we die, it's all over. She said that if there is something after this life, she does not care about it. She also said some very bad things about Christ. She was mad that we came to talk to her about God, us being younger than her, and even madder when she found out that we are not from Hawaii. She hates men, takes up for abortion and homosexual relationships, and thinks that Christians are the cause of all the world's problems. She thinks that we should give up proselyting and do some sort of physical labor. This is only a small part of the weird, false vain and foolish beliefs, but it will suffice to show that she is mixed up. That lady, she told me, she said in 5 years you're not, or I don't know if she said or 5 or 10, but she said in 5 years you're not going to be a member of this church any longer. And I didn't believe her. I told her that in 10 years I'd come back and prove to her that I still a member. She didn't say the same thing to my companion, just to me. But the funny thing is that in 5 years I wasn't a member any longer. A few hours after the crazy lady, we taught the first discussion to the lady, but she told us she would never read the Book of Mormon as she never reads the Bible. But she did say that we could come back, however she was unwilling to set a date. The first lady that I talked about shows us what the scripture teaches is true. The devil really does have a great hold upon the hearts of the people, blinds them and binds them with cords and carefully leads them down to hell. He says, I am no devil, for there is no devil. He teaches them not to believe in the truth and many other things he does to accomplish his design. The lady asked if I really believe in God and the LDS Church. Yes, ma'am, I replied. She was super bitter against the world and everything in it, so I told her as we laughed that I hope that someday she will be able to get over some of her bitterness and anger and come unto Christ. She just laughed in a weird sort of way. Earlier she told us to come back in 20 years and I would have a different opinion. We told her that in 20 years we would still be following Jesus Christ. We tried to see a few members after lunch and then decided to tract and taught a young lady named Chevelle, who was sort of interested. A few houses down, we tracted into a lady who was an active member of the New Uanu Ward and remembered me from when I served there. Because she is a seminary teacher, the bishop lets her stay in his ward even though she is not in the stake. We had an appointment to teach Blaine, one of the H family's boyfriends, but he was not there, so we talked to one of the H family twins until it was time to meet Miley L. to go to see Jessica. Miley followed us to Jessica. We had to park a block and a half away and walk. As soon as Miley pulled in, she ran out of gas. So after the discussion with Jessica, I had to borrow a gas can from the station and put a little gas in her car, and she could get to the station. Well, actually home to get money and into the station. The discussion with Jessica went okay, but it would have been so much better without all of the distractions such as the dog and her friends. She declined being baptized and said that she did not want to be baptized until her husband gets baptized. She wants them to do it together. After I helped Miley get on her way, we went back to Samuel A., a less active member. We visited a few days ago. He invited us in and told us all about how he won the Samuel Adams contest at the East Coast and to see a rock concert. After his story, we talked about the church, and he wants to come back and said he does not know when. His non-member daughter was visiting, so he taught her the first discussion. She was interested, and I think that she felt the Spirit, but I know that Sam felt the Spirit. He even cried. Before we left, he offered the prayer. We had dinner with the L family, and the whole time that we were there, we talked about the gospel. Brother L told me that he nor his wife had signed up for dinner, and he does not know who put them down. Elder G and I have no idea either, and the L families are not the only ones on the calendar who did not sign up. Sunday, the 22nd of August, 2004. Mixed rain and sunshine, partly windy part of the day. Hot. We did not teach anyone today, and the only investigator that came to church was Jared, but he has been coming for the last 8 months and is if not longer. Brother K had us over for breakfast in correlation. Brother L taught elders quorum about being loyal citizens and talked about supporting your country, not going against them, and how the Constitution was inspired of God. After class, a few members asked him if being Hawaiian sovereignist is okay. He again mentioned that the Lord wants us to be loyal citizens as long as our government protects us and gives us freedom, we should honor and support it. Since we did not have anyone to go to Sunday school, we just sat in the cultural hall and talked to Brother L and Abraham T. Most of the day was not even worth writing about, so it will suffice to say that we tried to see all of our investigators, but only caught two, but were not able to teach them or read with them, and we had dinner with the T family. Today I prepared my 5-minute talk on faith for Zone Conference, which I will probably never give. I have prepared a talk for every Zone Conference, just as I was asked to do ever since my stay in Kapolei when it first started, and I have never, as of yet, been able to give my talk. Even in the MTC, when we were asked to give a talk, I was not called on to give mine. Oh well. After this Zone Conference, I only have 2 more left, so I have a very good chance of never being called on to give my talk. But then again, with President Hawkins, I am not sure because he called on me to talk about an experience that I had written him in one of my letters. Thinking about having only 2 more Zone Conferences after this one makes me scared. I don't really want to go home because I am so unsure of what to do, yet at the same time I'll be glad when I get home, but still a lot worried about what to do. Monday, the 23rd of August, 2004. Clear most of the day. There was a little rain, windy, and hot. We had to go to the Tabernacle at 7:45 to watch a dumb driving video that I have already seen 3 times. The video is about driving and runs for 3 hours. President wanted us to watch it because there have been 5 preventable accidents in the last 2 months. He also said Wednesday the 8th of September will be a car appreciation day for the whole mission. I want it to be on a Tuesday so that everyone would have to ride the bus to zone meeting, but the other zones protested and the president changed it to Wednesday. Zone conference was good and in the most part fun, especially Elder P's training. He was a real creative for his last training in zone conference. Speaking of which, I only have 2 more. During lunch, Sister Hawkins had us play a game where each zone had a rally cleaning. It was close for a long time, but Elder G and I won, and when we took out the trash to the dumpster, we got back first. After zone conference, the Hawkins took pictures. I am pretty sure that this will be the last zone picture that I am privileged to be in. After the pictures, I was talking to Elder M, and he asked if I thought I would stay in the rest of my mission in Owaiolimu, to which I responded that I might. Sister Hawkinson said, "I don't think so, Elder, so perhaps I'll get transferred next transfer." When we got back to our area, we tracked it and taught the first discussion to a girl named Kalula S, and a guy who calls himself Pumpkin. She is sort of interested and talks to Jehovah's Witnesses as well. We taught the L family a member discussion because Sister L is less active, and then committed them to read. We met Elder G and Elder H, Elder P, and Elder C at Burger King and had dinner from 20 to 20:45. We had a good time talking about our weird and dangerous mission experiences. That will be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment down below, and I will do my best to answer your questions as soon as possible. With that said, I really appreciate you watching, and I will catch you in the next episode.